right, so today we're going to be listening to the French book, White Owl Barn Owl. So we're going to be learning about owls and squirrels and different wildlife this week. This is by Nicolia Davis and illustrated by Michael Furman. This is the same author and illustrator that made Bat Loves the Night. So it's very informative about barn owls and white owls. Right, one frosty winter day, I helped my grandpa make a big wooden box. What is it for, Grandpa? It's for the barn owls to nest in, he said. What barn owls? I asked, but Grandpa just smiled. Wait and see, he said. He carried the box across the Tasaki's field. Barn owls like to nest in old farms or hollow tree trunks. Where there aren't any, they will use a nest box instead. Grandpa put the box high in the old oak tree. How do you know there are barn owls here? I asked. I've seen one sitting up there on that branch at night, Grandpa said. Look, it's left something behind. Under the branch was a pile of a little sausage-shaped blob. There, Grandpa. They looked like dried poop, but Grandpa said they were pellets. Barn owl pellets, real size. Here's the picture of a pellet. Barn owls have favorite perches that they come back to again and again. You see he's up there putting the house up? The owls spit them out, Grandpa said, to get rid of the fur and the bones they can't eat. He pulled the pellet apart and showed me the tiny bones and skulls inside. Owls swallow their prey whole, and that's why they need to spit out the bones and fur. Will the owl come to our box tonight? Maybe, said Grandpa. Maybe not. Owls are wild birds. You can't be sure what they'll do. There's the pellet he tore apart right here. In winter, barn owls have to fly miles every night to hunt enough food, so it's hard to find them then. When the sun went down, we kept a lookout just in case, but we didn't see anything. We'll have to be patient, said Grandpa. We were patient lots of times. I thought we'd never see an owl. Being patient means to wait quietly. Then, or not really quietly, but waiting calmly, not getting excited or ready. You're not antsy to see it happen. You're just waiting and waiting. And then one spring night, just as the sky went pink, a pale face looked out of our box. An owl! A white owl! A barn owl! In spring and summer, owls stay close to their nest. And then Grandpa did a strange thing. He put his hand over his mouth and made a loud, squeaky sound. Right away, the owl took off and flew towards us. He thinks I'm a yowl or a mouse in the grass, Grandpa whispered. He's coming to see if he can catch his dinner. I just held my breath. The owl's whiteness gleamed, and its face was a pearly heart. A barn owl's huge eyes can see when it's too dark for human eyes to work. The heart-shaped ruff around the barn owl's face helps to guide sound to its super sharp ears, which are just holes under the feathers on its head. Under their feathers, owls are slim. Their bones are hollow, which keeps their bodies light and makes flying easy. Hollow means they're not full, like our bones are not hollow. They're solid. Hollow would mean that they have empty space inside. The owl came closer and closer and then landed in the tree, right by our hiding place. It was so light it hardly bent the twig it perched on. I can see the tiny ruff of feathers around its face, like stiff lace. I could see the speckled brown on its back. I could see the shine of its big, dark eyes. I could have reached out to touch its velvety softness. And then it raised its wings like an angel and took off. It was so quiet. All I heard was my own beating heart. Owls' wing feathers are especially soft, as owls can move through the air silently and fly up to their prey without being heard. Barn owls catch their prey by pouncing with their long legs and needle-sharp talons. The owl flew back and forth over the field, and then another owl came to join it. That's its mate, Grandpa whispered. One owl dropped to the ground and came up again. Look, Grandpa, it's caught something, I said. What does that have in its talons? The owl flew straight to the box and went inside. The weirdest sounds came from Grandpa's box. Barn owls lay up to 6 eggs, which hatch one after another. The first chicks to hatch are the biggest, and the last chicks to hatch are the smallest. They've got a family, Grandpa whispered. That's the baby owls squabbling over their dinner. Squabbling is like fighting. I held Grandpa's hand and we walked home as the moon came up. Will the barn owls always nest in our box now, Grandpa? I said. Grandpa smiled. You know, he said, I think they might. Barn owls will come back to the same nest site year after year if it stays safe and there is enough to eat nearby. All right, so here's a picture of a barn nest. Here's another picture of a barn nest that you could build. That you could use. All right, and that is all about barn owls. So owls are pretty cool. Unlike bats, they have talons that help them hold on to their prey. They're like bald eagles, that kind of bird. But they're nocturnal. Like we talked about bald eagles last week. You read a lot about them. Bald eagles are daytime animals. Now, owls are nocturnal, which means like bats, they stay awake at night. And they sleep during the day. So that's why they're up at night watching to see if the barn owl comes. Have you ever heard an owl call? I can hear them sometimes outside my house when I listen at night. I can hear them call out. It's pretty cool to hear. All right, if you don't know what they sound like, look it up because it's pretty cool. All right, bye guys.